Your soulmate just sent you a digital gift. It expires in 5 minutes. Open it quickly. Don't scroll, stay right here with me, because this message is for you and your heart needs this right now, even if your mind is still trying to tell you this is just another coincidence, just another moment you can ignore and move past, but deep down you already feel that quiet pressure in your chest, that subtle pull that says something important is happening right now. Listen to this carefully. This isn't about a phone notification, a text message, or something you can click, screenshot, and forget. This is a soul-level delivery, a transmission that didn't need words because it moved through intention, memory, timing, and emotional truth to reach you at this exact second. Stay till the end, because the reason it feels urgent is not to scare you. It's to wake you up before distraction steals a moment that was meant to shift something inside you. Somewhere, without planning it, your soulmate felt something today they couldn't explain. A sudden thought of you interrupted their routine. A wave of emotion rose up that didn't belong to the present moment. A memory, a feeling, a realization hit them out of nowhere. And for the first time in a long time, they didn't push it away. They didn't bury it under logic, pride, or excuses. They didn't distract themselves until it faded. They let it stay. That moment of honesty, that brief opening in their emotional armor, is the digital gift being sent to you right now. This message is for you because when one soul opens, even slightly, the other soul feels it instantly, no matter the distance, no matter the silence, no matter what's been said or left unsaid. Listen to this moment closely. You may already feel something shifting inside you. A strange calm mixed with anticipation, a warmth spreading through your chest, a heaviness that isn't sadness, or a memory of them surfacing without effort. That's not random. That's resonance. Don't scroll away from this truth. The word digital doesn't mean technological, it means instant. It means the message traveled faster than thought, faster than doubt, faster than fear. And the reason it feels like it expires in 5 minutes is because awareness has a window. Intuition speaks softly, but ego rushes in loud if you hesitate too long. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you've trained yourself to ignore subtle signals, to wait for proof that's loud enough to justify what you feel, but soulmate connections don't announce themselves with clarity first. They announce themselves with feeling. Listen to this carefully. The gift carries acknowledgement. Recognition. A quiet internal admission that what they feel for you didn't disappear, didn't get replaced, didn't lose meaning. It was paused, buried, delayed, but it never died. And now it has surfaced because something inside them shifted. And when internal truth shifts, the universe echoes it outward. That echo is what brought you here. Stay till the end, because understanding this moment changes how the next chapter unfolds. Right now, you may notice signs stacking around you faster than usual. Angel numbers appearing again and again. 1111 when your thoughts drift to them. 222 reminding you to stay balanced instead of reacting emotionally. 555 signaling that a change is already in motion even if you can't see it yet. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations that this window is real. Don't scroll, because here's the part most people misunderstand. The gift does not demand action. It asks for presence. You don't need to text, chase, confess, or confront. You don't need to decode every detail with your mind. You need to feel. Feel what came up in you the moment you heard this. Was it relief, warmth, emotion, or a quiet knowing that felt familiar? That feeling is the content of the gift. Your heart needs this reminder right now because you've spent so long doubting your inner responses, waiting for permission to trust what you already know. Listen to this moment closely. Your soulmate didn't send this gift to pull you back into confusion or chaos. They sent it because they reached a moment where pretending not to feel became heavier than feeling. And when that happens, the other soul receives a signal not to chase, but to stay open. Don't scroll away from this knowing. The urgency of "open it quickly" exists because overthinking collapses the moment. If you analyze, you shrink it. If you stay present, it expands. Stay till the end, because this moment isn't meant to overwhelm you. It's meant to reassure you. You are not forgotten. You are not disconnected. You are not imagining the bond. The universe does not interrupt people who are off their path. It interrupts people who are aligned but tired of waiting without confirmation. Listen to this carefully. You don't have to do anything perfectly. You only have to receive. Breathe. Let the feeling land. Let it move through you without trying to label it or control it. That's how the gift remains active beyond the 5-minute window. Don't scroll, because this is where the prophecy deepens. When you receive without fear, the connection stabilizes. When you trust without clinging, the next step reveals itself naturally. And that next step is closer than you think. Your heart needs this reminder right now because love meant for you does not require force, desperation, or anxiety. It requires awareness. As this moment settles, you may feel calmer, lighter, or unexpectedly emotional. That's how you know you opened it in time. The universe speaks gently when it knows you're listening. Stay with this calm. Trust that whatever your soulmate is processing internally will surface in the right way, at the right time, without you chasing it or sacrificing your peace to make it happen. Don't scroll away from this final truth. You were chosen to receive this message because you are ready for a connection that feels safe, clear, and real instead of confusing and draining. This is not about waiting anymore. This is about alignment. And alignment always begins quietly, internally, before it shows up in the physical world. If this message reached you, it's because you were meant to feel it, not question it. And if something inside you softened while listening, if you felt seen, reassured, or emotionally steadier than before, then stay connected right here, like, share, and subscribe, because this was not the end of the message, it was the opening, and what comes next will make even more sense if you're still here. Don't scroll, stay with me, because now we're moving deeper into what that moment unlocked, and this message is for you in a way your heart needs this right now even if you're trying to stay calm and grounded on the surface. Listen to this carefully. Once a soul-level gift is received, even silently, the energy between two people doesn't go back to the way it was before. Something has already shifted. The connection recalibrates. The awareness changes how both sides feel, even if neither of you has spoken a word yet. You may notice that after that moment, your thoughts feel clearer, your emotions steadier, and your intuition louder. That's not accidental. That's what happens when confusion loses its grip and truth starts breathing again. Somewhere on the other side of this connection, your soulmate is feeling the after effect of opening themselves emotionally. When someone allows a buried truth to surface, it doesn't immediately bring relief. First, it brings restlessness, reflection, a need to sit with feelings they've avoided. That's why you might feel them more strongly now, not because they're reaching out physically, but because they're processing internally. Your heart needs this reminder right now because when one soul processes truth, the other soul often feels it as emotional echoes. Sudden memories, gentle waves of emotion, moments of calm followed by moments of longing. Don't scroll away from this knowing. This is the integration phase. This is where the gift settles into something meaningful. Listen to this moment closely. You may notice that you're no longer craving answers the way you used to. You're not obsessively checking for signs, messages, or updates. Instead, there's a quiet trust forming inside you. A sense that whatever is meant to unfold will do so without you forcing it. That trust is new. And it's powerful. It's proof that the connection is no longer draining you, it's stabilizing you. Angel numbers may still appear, but now they show up as reassurance rather than urgency. 222 when you're choosing balance over reaction. 444 when your boundaries feel natural instead of forced. 777 when you sense that something karmic is resolving itself quietly. These are signs that you're aligned, not signs that you need to rush. Don't scroll, because here's the emotional truth most people miss. After a soul-level exchange, the universe often creates space. Not distance to punish, but space to allow clarity to form. Silence doesn't always mean absence. Sometimes it means integration. Your soulmate may be quieter now, more introspective, more thoughtful. That doesn't mean the connection faded. It means it deepened. Listen to this carefully. The reason you don't feel panicked by that quiet is because you're no longer operating from fear. You're operating from awareness. Your heart needs this reminder right now because fear rushes, but alignment waits. As this phase continues, you may feel drawn to slow down in other areas of your life too. You may sleep differently, think differently, respond differently. You're shedding an old emotional rhythm that was built on anticipation and anxiety, and you're stepping into one built on presence. Don't scroll away from this truth. Presence is magnetic. It invites honesty without demanding it. It allows people to show up authentically without pressure. And when someone feels that energy, they're more likely to reveal themselves honestly, whether through words, actions, or decisions. Listen to this moment closely. If your soulmate reaches out during this time, it won't feel chaotic. It will feel intentional, measured, real. And if they don't, you won't feel abandoned. You'll feel protected. That's how you know the connection is no longer operating at your expense. Your heart needs this reminder right now because love that's meant for you does not destabilize your nervous system. It calms it. As days pass, you may notice that you're less interested in old patterns, overthinking, over-explaining, over-giving. Those habits feel heavy now. Outdated. You're learning to let things unfold without micromanaging the outcome. Don't scroll, because this is where the prophecy becomes empowerment. The digital gift wasn't meant to pull you backward into longing. It was meant to move you forward into trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in timing. Trust in the fact that what's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. Listen to this carefully. When you stop chasing clarity, clarity often comes looking for you. When you stop proving your worth, people are forced to recognize it on their own. And when you stop filling silence with effort, silence reveals its true meaning. Your heart needs this reminder right now because effort without reciprocity was never love, it was survival. You are no longer surviving. You are aligning. Angel numbers may shift now too. 888 when balance returns to your emotional life. 999 when an old cycle completes without drama. These signs aren't pushing you forward. They're acknowledging how far you've already come. Don't scroll away from this knowing. You didn't miss the gift. You received it. And receiving it changed how the story unfolds from here. You may feel less urgency to label what's happening, to define it, to control it. That's because you trust yourself enough to let truth arrive organically. Listen to this moment closely. Whatever your soulmate does next will not shake you the way it once might have. If they step forward, you'll receive them from a place of steadiness. If they hesitate, you'll observe without self-blame. If they reveal something unexpected, you'll process it without losing your center. That is the power you gain from awareness. Your heart needs this reminder right now because strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "I'll be okay either way." As this phase continues, you may notice a sense of gratitude rising. Not necessarily for the situation itself, but for who you became through it. You learned to listen to yourself. To trust subtle signals. To honor your emotions without letting them rule you. That learning will protect you far beyond this connection. Don't scroll, because this is where the energy settles into peace. You are no longer waiting for love to choose you. You are choosing alignment. And alignment always chooses you back. Stay with this calm. Let it anchor you. Trust that whatever unfolds next will meet you where you are now, grounded, aware, and emotionally whole. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force. You don't need to fear missing out. What's meant for you does not expire the way moments do. Only awareness does. And you stayed aware. If this message kept you present, if it felt like something inside you softened instead of tightened, then stay connected right here, like, share, and subscribe. Because this story isn't finished yet, and the next shift will make even more sense if you're still listening. Don't scroll, stay right here with me, because now we are entering the stage where everything that quietly shifted inside you begins to show subtle effects on the outside, and this message is for you in a way your heart needs this right now, even if you feel like you've already settled, already understood, already moved into a calmer place. Listen to this carefully. When a soul-level exchange happens and is fully received, the universe doesn't rush the outcome. It stretches the moment so the lesson can anchor itself deeply instead of flashing by. That's what you're in now. A stretch. A sacred pause. And this pause isn't empty, it's full of recalibration. You may notice that your emotional reactions feel slower, more deliberate, like you're watching your own feelings instead of being swallowed by them. That's not distance, that's awareness. Somewhere, your soulmate is also feeling this shift, though from a very different angle. When someone opens emotionally after a long period of restraint, the first thing they feel isn't clarity, it's vulnerability. A sense of exposure. A quiet fear of what that truth might change. That's why their energy may feel close one moment and quiet the next. Your heart needs this reminder right now because inconsistency doesn't always mean disinterest. Sometimes it means someone is learning how to sit with honesty without running from it. Don't scroll away from this truth. The reason you're not spiraling the way you once would have is because the gift you received didn't just reconnect you to them, it reconnected you to yourself. Listen to this moment closely. You may feel less inclined to chase reassurance, less tempted to fill silence, less reactive to ambiguity. Instead, you feel observant, grounded, present. That presence is powerful. It creates a space where truth can surface naturally. Angel numbers may continue appearing, but now they show up like quiet nods instead of urgent alarms. 222 when you choose patience over panic. 444 when you feel supported even without proof. 666 reminding you to come back into balance when your mind starts racing. These signs aren't telling you to act, they're telling you to trust the pace. Don't scroll, because here's something important. After a soul-level connection is acknowledged, the universe often tests integration, not attachment. That means situations may arise that invite you to return to old habits, overthinking, doubting yourself, reading between lines that aren't meant to be decoded. But now, you notice those impulses before they take over. You pause. You breathe. You choose differently. That choice rewires the pattern. Your heart needs this reminder right now because growth doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It shows up as restraint. As peace where there used to be urgency. As trust where there used to be fear. Listen to this carefully. Your soulmate may be processing memories, re-evaluating choices, questioning timelines. When someone realizes they've been emotionally disconnected from something meaningful, it takes time to reconcile that truth with the life they've been living. That doesn't mean you're on hold. It means the universe is allowing truth to mature before expression. Don't scroll away from this knowing. You are not being delayed, you are being protected from half-formed honesty. As days pass, you may feel moments of sudden certainty followed by moments of neutrality. Both are part of integration. Certainty reminds you of the connection. Neutrality reminds you that you don't need it to define you. That balance is new. And it's healthy. Your heart needs this reminder right now because love that's meant to grow doesn't require obsession to stay alive. It grows through respect for timing. Listen to this moment closely. You may also notice changes in other areas of your life, more clarity in decisions, less tolerance for emotional drain, a stronger sense of self-respect. That's not coincidence. When one soul level knot untangles, others follow. The gift you received wasn't isolated, it was catalytic. It set off a chain reaction of alignment. Don't scroll, because this is where the prophecy deepens. As you remain steady, the universe watches how you hold yourself. It responds to calm confidence faster than to desperation. And when you stop demanding clarity, clarity begins to approach you on its own terms. Your soulmate may feel drawn to step forward with more honesty, or they may step back to confront what they're not ready to face. Either movement reveals truth. And truth no longer frightens you. Your heart needs this reminder right now because fear only thrives when we feel powerless. You don't. Listen to this carefully. You are no longer negotiating your worth in silence. You are no longer waiting for someone else's readiness to determine your peace. That doesn't mean you stopped caring, it means you stopped collapsing. Don't scroll away from this knowing. The universe doesn't ask you to close your heart. It asks you to guard your center. As this phase continues, you may notice that your intuition feels sharper, clearer, less clouded by emotional noise. You sense things without needing evidence. You know when to pause. You know when to lean back. That intuition is the true gift that keeps giving. Angel numbers may shift again. 888 when emotional balance returns. 999 when a karmic loop completes quietly. These signs are acknowledgments, not instructions. Don't scroll, because here's the emotional truth most people never realize. The gift wasn't meant to pull you closer to someone else, it was meant to pull you closer to alignment. And alignment attracts what can meet you where you stand now. Listen to this moment closely. If your soulmate returns with words, you'll hear sincerity or avoidance clearly. If they remain quiet, you'll sense intention or fear without internalizing it. If they surprise you with growth, you'll receive it without disbelief. That readiness is what marks the end of an old cycle. Your heart needs this reminder right now because readiness changes how outcomes land. What once would have hurt now informs. What once would have destabilized now clarifies. Don't scroll away from this truth. You are not waiting anymore, you are allowing. Allowing truth to surface. Allowing connections to reveal themselves. Allowing life to meet you without resistance. That allowance doesn't make you passive, it makes you powerful. As this integration completes, you may feel an unfamiliar sense of gratitude. Not just for the connection, but for the version of yourself that emerged through it. You learned how to stay present without clinging. How to feel deeply without drowning. How to trust subtle signals without demanding proof. That learning stays with you. Don't scroll, because this is where peace becomes permanent. You are no longer standing at the edge of possibility wondering what will happen. You are standing in self-trust, knowing you can handle whatever comes next without losing yourself. Stay with this calm. Let it anchor you. Trust that whatever unfolds will do so in alignment with who you are now, not who you used to be when uncertainty ruled you. And if this message kept you here, if it felt like it spoke to a quiet place inside you that's been growing stronger, then stay connected, like, share, and subscribe, because the journey isn't over, but you are no longer walking it from a place of fear, you're walking it from clarity, and that makes all the difference. Don't scroll, stay with me, because now you are standing in the phase where everything that once felt uncertain starts revealing its true shape, and this message is for you in a way your heart needs this right now, even if you feel calmer than you ever expected to feel at this point. Listen to this carefully. When awareness has fully settled, when the emotional fog has lifted just enough, life begins to respond differently to you. You're not chasing clarity anymore, and that alone changes the energy around every connection you have. You may notice that situations which once would have triggered anxiety now barely register. Words that once carried weight now pass through you without leaving a mark. Silence that once felt unbearable now feels neutral, sometimes even peaceful. That's not because you stopped caring. It's because you stopped tying your sense of worth to someone else's emotional availability. Somewhere, your soulmate is feeling this shift too, even if they don't consciously recognize it yet. When someone realizes they no longer have emotional leverage over you, it forces an internal reckoning. Not a dramatic one, but a quiet one. They begin to ask themselves why the dynamic feels different. Why the pull feels softer but deeper. Why you feel less reachable yet more present at the same time. Your heart needs this reminder right now because this phase isn't about distance, it's about recalibration. Listen to this moment closely. As days move forward, you may notice that your intuition doesn't shout anymore. It doesn't need to. It speaks calmly, confidently, with a sense of certainty that doesn't require reassurance. That's a sign of alignment. Angel numbers may still appear, but now they feel like gentle confirmations rather than warnings. 222 shows up when you choose balance instead of reaction. 444 appears when you maintain boundaries without guilt. 777 reminds you that something deeper is unfolding behind the scenes. These signs are telling you that you're exactly where you're meant to be, not that you need to rush anywhere. Don't scroll away from this truth. The universe doesn't hurry growth. It lets it root. And you are rooting now. Listen to this carefully. Your soulmate may be processing regret, realization, or clarity at a pace that feels slow compared to what you once wanted. But notice how you no longer feel trapped by their timeline. You're not waiting for permission to move forward emotionally. You're living. That shift removes pressure from the connection and replaces it with truth. Truth either draws people closer in healthy ways or reveals misalignment without pain. Your heart needs this reminder right now because alignment doesn't always look like reunion. Sometimes it looks like peace. As this phase continues, you may feel drawn to simplify your life. Fewer emotional entanglements. Less over-explaining. More honesty with yourself. That simplification isn't loss. It's refinement. You're learning to distinguish between what feels familiar and what feels right. Don't scroll, because this is where the prophecy becomes grounded in reality. When you stop reacting, people around you reveal themselves more clearly. They either meet you with consistency, or they fall away without drama. And neither outcome feels catastrophic anymore. Listen to this moment closely. You may find yourself less interested in analyzing past conversations or replaying moments in your head. The past doesn't have the same grip on you. That's because you've stopped looking backward for validation. Your heart needs this reminder right now because freedom often arrives quietly, disguised as indifference toward things that once consumed you. Somewhere, your soulmate is still integrating their own truth. They may feel moments of clarity followed by hesitation. That's normal when someone is unlearning avoidance. But notice how their internal process no longer disrupts your emotional state. You're not responsible for their growth. And you never were. Don't scroll away from this knowing. Responsibility for yourself is enough. As you stay grounded, the universe begins to mirror your steadiness back to you through new experiences, new conversations, and new emotional baselines. You may notice that people treat you differently now. With more respect. More attentiveness. More sincerity. That's not coincidence. That's alignment responding to alignment. Listen to this carefully. This phase is where you realize that the warning, the gift, the awareness, it all led you here. To a place where you trust yourself enough to let life unfold without controlling it. Your heart needs this reminder right now because trust doesn't come from certainty, it comes from self-confidence. Don't scroll, because here's the emotional revelation most people miss. Closure doesn't always come from answers. Sometimes it comes from detachment that doesn't feel bitter. It feels clean. And you're experiencing that now. Clean emotional space. Room to breathe. Room to feel without being overwhelmed. Angel numbers may shift again. 888 appears when balance is restored. 999 shows up when a karmic cycle completes without confrontation. These are acknowledgments, not instructions. They're saying, you did it. You learned. Listen to this moment closely. You are no longer standing in the shadow of what might happen. You're standing in the clarity of what already has. The connection served its purpose. Not by breaking you, but by teaching you how to remain whole. And that wholeness is what prepares you for whatever comes next. Don't scroll away from this truth. Love that's meant for you will not arrive as a test of endurance. It will arrive as recognition. As ease. As safety. You won't have to guess. You won't have to wait in confusion. You won't have to sacrifice your peace to keep it alive. That's the standard you're carrying forward now. As this phase settles, you may feel gratitude not toward the situation itself, but toward yourself for how you handled it. For choosing awareness over anxiety. For choosing self-respect over self-doubt. For staying open without losing yourself. That choice changed everything. Listen to this carefully. The universe isn't done aligning things for you. It's simply waiting for you to stay where you are, grounded, present, trusting. When you do, what's meant for you arrives without force. Stay with this calm. Let it anchor you. Trust that whatever unfolds next will meet you in clarity, not chaos. And if this message kept you present, if it felt like it spoke directly to the part of you that's grown stronger through all of this, then stay connected, like, share, and subscribe, because this journey isn't about surviving love anymore, it's about receiving it in a way that honors who you've become. Don't scroll, stay with me, because now you're standing at the point where everything finally begins to settle into truth. And this message is for you in a way your heart needs this right now, even if you feel like you've already crossed the hardest part. Listen to this carefully. When awareness matures, it doesn't come with fireworks or dramatic endings, it comes with a deep, steady sense of knowing that doesn't require validation anymore. That's where you are now. You're no longer asking what this connection means. You're starting to understand what it has already done to you. It reshaped you. It slowed you down. It taught you how to listen inward instead of outward. And that change is permanent. Somewhere, your soulmate is still navigating the consequences of opening themselves emotionally, because when someone finally acknowledges a truth they avoided, life doesn't instantly reward them with peace. First, it asks them to sit with it. To face what they postponed. To reconcile what they felt with what they chose. That process can look messy, quiet, or delayed from the outside, but notice how it no longer destabilizes you. Your heart needs this reminder right now because emotional stability isn't about control, it's about self-trust. Don't scroll away from this truth. You are no longer pulled into emotional turbulence just because someone else is uncertain. You can feel compassion without absorbing confusion. You can care without collapsing. You can stay open without bleeding. Listen to this moment closely. You may notice that you're not replaying scenarios in your head anymore. You're not obsessing over timing, words, or outcomes. Instead, you're present. You're grounded. You're aware of your own emotional landscape in a way you weren't before. That's the real gift that emerged from all of this. Angel numbers may still appear, but now they land softly instead of urgently. 222 shows up when you choose balance instead of reaction. 444 appears when your boundaries feel natural and unforced. 777 reminds you that something is aligning beyond what you can see. These signs aren't pushing you forward, they're affirming that you're already walking correctly. Don't scroll, because this phase is subtle but powerful. This is where old emotional reflexes lose their grip. The urge to over-explain fades. The need to prove your worth dissolves. The habit of filling silence with effort disappears. And in that space, something new forms, self-respect without rigidity, openness without self-sacrifice. Your heart needs this reminder right now because this balance is what prepares you for healthier connections, whether with the same person or someone new. Listen to this carefully. Your soulmate may still be processing regret, realization, or longing, but their internal state no longer dictates your emotional weather. That shift doesn't make you distant, it makes you sovereign. You are no longer waiting for someone else to be ready in order to feel secure. You're secure because you trust yourself. Don't scroll away from this knowing. Trust changes everything. As days pass, you may feel a strange sense of neutrality around the connection. Not indifference, but calm acceptance. You're no longer attached to a specific outcome. You're attached to alignment. And alignment doesn't require force. It unfolds naturally. Your heart needs this reminder right now because attachment to outcome is where suffering lives, and you stepped out of that quietly. Listen to this moment closely. You may also notice that your tolerance for emotional inconsistency in general has dropped. Not out of bitterness, but out of clarity. You simply don't have the energy for what drains you anymore. That's not closing your heart. That's honoring it. Don't scroll, because this is where the prophecy becomes grounded. When you stop chasing clarity, clarity begins to approach you. When you stop managing other people's emotions, they're forced to manage their own. And when you stop negotiating your worth, others either rise to meet you or remove themselves without conflict. Both outcomes protect you. Angel numbers may shift again. 888 appears when emotional balance returns. 999 shows up when a karmic lesson completes quietly. These aren't warnings. They're acknowledgments. They're saying, this chapter is closing cleanly. Listen to this carefully. Closure doesn't always come through conversations or confessions. Sometimes it comes through peace. Through the absence of anxiety. Through the quiet confidence that you will be okay regardless of what someone else chooses. Your heart needs this reminder right now because peace is the clearest sign of growth. Don't scroll away from this truth. You didn't lose anything by staying aware. You gained yourself. You gained discernment. You gained emotional authority. Those things will shape every relationship you have from here forward. As this phase settles, you may feel gratitude for the warning, not because something bad happened, but because something bad didn't have to. Awareness saved you from repeating an old pattern. It spared you unnecessary pain. And that's a gift most people never recognize until much later. Listen to this moment closely. Whatever your soulmate does next will not undo what you've built inside yourself. If they step forward with honesty, you'll receive it from a place of steadiness. If they stay quiet, you'll interpret it without self-blame. If they reveal something unexpected, you'll process it without losing your center. That's emotional mastery. Your heart needs this reminder right now because mastery doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop being ruled by feelings. Don't scroll, because here's the deepest truth of all. This journey was never about whether someone would choose you. It was about whether you would choose yourself while staying open to love. And you did. That choice rewired your future. It changed what you attract, what you tolerate, and what you allow. Love that arrives next will not ask you to shrink, wait in confusion, or endure emotional chaos. It will meet you where you are now, grounded, aware, and whole. As this phase completes, you may feel a sense of readiness that doesn't come with urgency. You're not rushing toward anything. You're available. And availability rooted in self-respect is magnetic. Stay with this calm. Let it anchor you. Trust that whatever unfolds next will do so in alignment with who you've become, not who you used to be when uncertainty ran the show. Don't scroll away from this final knowing. You are not behind. You are not missing out. You are exactly where you need to be to receive connection without losing yourself. And if this message kept you here, if it spoke to a quiet strength growing inside you, then stay connected, like, share, and subscribe, because the story isn't ending, it's simply moving forward from a place of clarity, and that makes all the difference. Don't scroll, stay right here, because this is the moment where everything finally lands, and this message is for you in a way your heart needs this right now, even if you feel calmer, steadier, and more self-aware than you've ever felt before. Listen to this carefully. What you've moved through wasn't just a phase, a connection, or a confusing chapter, it was a transformation. Quiet, slow, and deeply personal. You didn't come out of it louder or harder, you came out clearer. And clarity is the most powerful place a soul can stand. You're no longer waiting for signs with desperation. You're no longer scanning silence for hidden meaning. You're no longer tying your peace to someone else's readiness. That's how you know something inside you has truly shifted. Somewhere, your soulmate is still integrating their own truth, but notice how their process no longer controls your emotional state. You can sense them without being consumed by them. You can care without losing yourself. Your heart needs this reminder right now because that balance is the evidence of growth. Listen to this moment closely. Peace doesn't arrive as fireworks. It arrives as the absence of chaos. As fewer racing thoughts. As a body that feels safe even in uncertainty. You may notice that you trust yourself more now. You trust your instincts. You trust your ability to walk away from what drains you and stay present with what nourishes you. That trust didn't come from answers, it came from experience. Don't scroll away from this truth. You earned this steadiness. Angel numbers may still appear, but now they feel like gentle affirmations instead of urgent messages. 111 when you remember who you are. 222 when balance feels natural. 444 when your boundaries hold without effort. 999 when a cycle completes without drama. These aren't warnings or prophecies anymore. They're acknowledgments. They're saying, you did the work. Listen to this carefully. Whatever happens next in your love life will not look like what you endured before. It won't feel confusing, draining, or heavy. It will feel calm, respectful, and real. And if something doesn't feel that way, you'll recognize it immediately without second-guessing yourself. That's discernment. Your heart needs this reminder right now because discernment protects love, it doesn't block it. Don't scroll, because this is where the story truly closes. Not with a dramatic ending, but with a quiet certainty. You are no longer available for half-truths, mixed signals, or emotional instability. Not because you're closed off, but because you finally understand your worth. Love that's meant for you will not ask you to wait in confusion. It will meet you with clarity. It will feel safe to receive. Listen to this moment closely. If your soulmate steps forward in the future, it will be from a place of maturity, not fear. And if they don't, their absence will not feel like loss, it will feel like alignment. Either way, you are no longer standing still. You are moving forward with self-respect guiding every step. That's the real ending here. Don't scroll away from this final knowing. You were never meant to be broken by love. You were meant to be refined by awareness. And now that awareness is part of you. It will guide your choices, protect your peace, and attract what can truly meet you. Stay with this calm. Let it settle. Trust that what's coming next will recognize you without you having to prove yourself. And if this message walked with you through something real, something healing, something that helped you stand a little taller inside, then stay connected, like, share, and subscribe, because the next chapter isn't about surviving love anymore, it's about finally receiving it the way you always deserved.